Okay, folks. Well, we've made it to the end, and I want to thank you for giving yourself the time to take this course. We've covered quite a bit. I want to just provide a little summary. We started this course with the simple idea, but very important idea, that trauma is a mental injury, but it is not mental illness. It is an indication that some harm has been caused to a person and that their brains and their bodies are reacting exactly as they are supposed to react when a harm is caused. And that's what we mean by it's an injury, not an illness. We also talked about a wide range of things that can lead to that kind of injury that we're discussing. We said, it might actually be chronic stress. A lot of folks don't realize that. But the stress that we live with day in and day out can lead to that kind of injury to our bodies and our brains. And of course, maybe more traditionally, we know things like major, severe, scary incidents to lead to trauma as well. You probably didn't need me to tell you that, but of course, it exists all in this range of experiences that can lead to trauma, that can lead to that mental injury. We also spoke about a range of reactions to traumatic experiences. And you might recall we said, there may be a small group of people on one extreme who are particularly vulnerable to this kind of mental injury that we're discussing. And there may be a small group of people who seem particularly resilient to this kind of mental injury. But most people, the vast majority of us, are in the large middle range where we're all pretty much vulnerable to these injuries. Again, I said it's just exactly as your brain is supposed to react if it's being injured. It's exactly how your body is supposed to react if it's being injured. Most of us will have somewhere around the same kinds of symptoms and reactions. And it's probably not fair to us to compare ourselves to those extremes. Those extremes are more rare cases, but if you're finding yourself experiencing some of those symptoms that we've learned, hyperarousal, intrusion, restriction, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. You're probably in that large middle group, like most of us, who are bound to experience some of those trauma symptoms when we've been harmed by the world around us. I think most importantly, I hope you walk away from this course with a couple of ideas about how to be helpful to people who've been exposed to trauma. My hope is that you finish this course knowing that it's not fair to make assumptions about what a person has gone through or what has led them to the place they are today. Perhaps it's more helpful to interact with people with some curiosity about where they've been and what might have happened and perhaps what threats they are seeing in the world as a result of the experiences that they've had. My hope is that you've also learned a little bit about helping people feel more autonomy and choice and some safety in their environments, because really that's what a trauma survivor is craving. A little bit of power over what might happen next and a sense that the world perhaps is a bit predictable. It isn't always, of course, but if we can increase that sense of safety and predictability in the world, people can take a lot of comfort in that. Folks, learning about this is a big task. Putting it to good use is an even bigger task. And I hope along the way, as you're working with people and trying to just do right by them, that you're also taking really good care of yourself. And your colleagues as well. They may need a little bit of a friendly eye, just keeping an eye on how they're doing. The hope and the dream is that maybe we can look out for each other a little bit more. So I encourage you to do that. Thanks, folks.